Let's see.
Well, look, Lumen, we're so Ferris, we're so glad to have you representing Lumen coming on, talking about the product. I was kind of looking in, reading the white paper over the weekend, was talking to a few chads about Lumen. There's a lot of people that are excited, man, and rightfully so. So definitely excited to jump into this convo. But before we get too deep on the tech side, let's just kind of start with you, your background. There's a lot of people that have been saying that you've been heads down building since you are in the Heaven Dex ecosystem. So I definitely want to get your take as your as far as your experience building on that side. But what tell us a little bit about your background first, and we can get to everything else.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, thanks for like the interest. That's very nice to hear. Since the migration, it's been very good overall. So yeah, to present myself, I'm Faris. Since like the pump migration, I didn't show my face. I mean, you can still find it in like the first tweets. Um, and yeah, I'm just a student. I'm that guy that started coding at 14 years old. So yeah, I have like personal experience, not so much actual work experience, and yeah, trying to build a project, and yeah, sound nice.
Nice. So you've just been a crack dev since from birth, pretty much. You've been coding your entire life. Have you do you have any, so you don't have any like previous work experience? Have you built anything before? Like, or is this kind of your first product?
I think it's my first actual project. I probably did few small projects, like very small things, not that developed.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good. So how did you stumble on the idea of Lumen? What kind of led you to building something like this?
Well, Lumen first started like on GitHub. It was first an open source client, which allowed you to take all your code and send it on any AI. And the idea is it cleans all your code first and removes any useless file, etc. So you can just paste all your code in the prompt and start coding easily. And from that idea, basically, it's turned into Lumen and a more developed project into Web3 and Solana. And I think it went pretty well.
Very nice, very nice. So you've been building for a while. I want to just kind of start with the Heaven Dex part of the journey. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing while you're on Heaven Dex, what you were building then, and then we can transition to how that's changed to Pump Fund.
Of course, of course. Well, I remember on Heaven Launch, basically the product was ready, but it was not as advanced, which means well, I think I'm just gonna give some context on what Lumen is for those who don't understand perfectly. But basically, you have code, you can send it on our database, it gets cleaned, it goes through AI, it's compared with every single project that exists online or inside our own database to check for plagiarism, etc. And the idea is you get paid for that code, even though it's a bit limited now, which means we only allowed 300 users. On Lumen, when we started, it was initially 100 users. We had no money at all, nothing to pay. Then, thanks to the launch, it was a thing. And yeah, during Heaven, basically, we were at the V1. Now we're at the V2. Like the website you see in red and white has been like completely redesigned. It was the initial theme was like purple, I think, and the user experience was way more different. So yeah, these 2 months allowed me to build like an actual professional product rather than that small side project you have.
Got it.
So
So go
help
ahead.
me
Go ahead.
understand this and sorry to break in here, chill. But why is code valuable? And is this finished code, unfinished code? If I'm halfway done working with an app, I don't feel like finishing it. Can I upload it? Maybe just give me the full range of thoughts there.
Well, for what's valuable in code, to me, I've always had that vision that quality matters more than quantity, and what you don't find online is what's more valuable. and that's what we gather with Lumen. So that's why we have all that system with the plagiarism, etc. And the idea is, even if you don't have any finished project, if it works, we can take it. And the good thing is, AI will actually grade a big part of it, and we have a quite specific way to grade that. So I don't know if I can share my screen. Maybe let me
Absolutely,
see.
we'd love that.
Absolutely.
Let me do that. Right. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, do you want to? All right, there we go.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. All right. So that's the part of Lumen that basically everyone since the pump launch can't really see, since users are limited. So that's the dashboard. You can just see your stats. And the way the algo works is, when you upload a project, I might upload one here just to show you. Let me find. So that's the web upload. So you get rewarded a bit less for uploading on web, but you can also upload via the client and you get rewarded more. So I will just upload here. You get
What's the difference there between web and client? Can you explain to me for the non-technical people?
yeah, of course. Well, for any non-technical user, that's definitely easier to do that from web. And by doing that from the client, you can actually choose what you need to send, which means you can actually not send half of your code if you want to, and you can send, like, if you want to skip
Bits
some
and
parts,
pieces.
you can just do it. It's way easier to do it on web though. So it got rejected as a duplicate because I already sent it. It's probably this one, I think. Mm, Probably not that, but anyways, it's another project, right? So as you can see, you have the value, tokens analyzed, the complexity. So what's the complexity? It's how pushed your code is. Then you have AI scores, which are the AI summary of the valuation scores. So for the valuation, we have the clarity, which is just how different the project itself is compared to any other project. For example, if you send a to-do list, it will be probably a 2 out of 10, while if you send some actual thing that's not used often, then you will get a higher grade. For the architecture, it's the way you format your code and the folders, etc. So that's an easy score to get. And the quality is just how you write code, if it's qualitative or bad, if you put effort into that. So that's a pretty important score. And then the good thing with the AI summary is that's where you can get most keywords for anyone that wants to buy data. Imagine you want to buy something that has Web3 inside. So I will show you after, but you can just filter it. And yeah, that's what the user sees. So now that's the database, basically. I mean, part of it. So I will take a random project. Oh, wait, it doesn't want to open.
Don't worry, live demos are tough, so you're good.
Yeah. Oh my god, I think I will just copy that and put in my notes app.
Man, dude,
All right.
prepared.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
All right. So that's the internal stats. It's a bit more pushed. It's not formatted well here, since it's read by programs. But to make it simple, you have some of the stats you see, like the lines of code, complexity. Then you have internal stats, compression ratio. I won't explain everything, but basically, if you send something that's spam, that's useless, it won't go through. If you send something that's low effort, you won't get paid a lot, and that's the opposite. If you put effort into your project, you'll get paid a lot, and the system is just perfect for that. So I think there's one thing I can show you here, which is
Really quick there, and apologies, I had to take a quick
sure.
bathroom break. But I want to ask, like, so the system basically allows developers to upload code and projects and then get it analyzed by AI, where they
Yeah.
can then get rewarded for novel, actual creation rather than just slop. Is that?
Yeah.
Do I have that? Okay, got it.
So help me understand as well, kind of on that note too, the target market audience here. Are you obviously targeting developers? What's the supply side? What's the demand side look like? Right, supply side is developers, demand side is obviously people that need AI. Can you just walk me through how you're going about that?
Well, for who wants that, mostly it will be any company that needs code to train any AI model, or any researcher, any lab. So if you want to fine tune a model, make a very specialized model, I think Lumen is definitely good. Or also, I thought of a small use case, since I did like the PAI integration very recently, as you saw. And the idea is to enable even small payments. So, for example, if you're a student and you want to get something you can't find online, you can, for example, just find it here and download it, and yeah, you have your project. You see.
Got you.
So definitely a few use cases, and yeah.
How do you go and champion this to people that are looking to buy this stuff? How do you get it out there? How do you make it known that this is even an option available? Do you have competitors? What does this like? I have no clue what this scene even looks like. So
Hmm.
maybe tell me, what's the competition look like, and how do you go and push this to the people that need it?
I think one good thing with Lumen is it's so specialized that there's not that much competition. I mean, there probably is, but it's probably very private, and you can't really find that online. So yeah, it's not like
What kind of interest are you seeing? I guess I would ask though,
mm,
from buyers.
well, they can get the high quality code they can't find online, and Lumen just solves that. There is no one on the market that does that. So imagine you want uh, 10 million lines of code, then you would only find that on Lumen, for example, unless you want to scrape online. But doing that, you can't find things that are always qualitative, or you can't get that edge to push competition. What I mean by that is like, let's say OpenAI wants to buy my code. If only them get it, they will they will go further, because they can just take what they want from Lumen. It won't be available online.
Yeah, no, I get that. I guess my question is, how much interest have you personally seen as Lumen? Are you seeing a lot of these buyers come in, or have you still not gotten to that point where you have a ton of demand?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, so far, it's an accumulation phase, so that's definitely not my interest to sell code in the
Got
next
you.
days. But yeah, we're pushing that, and we have a roadmap. Basically, now we're in the phase where we're trying to get 1 billion tokens, which is around. We already are at 25% of that, and after that, the focus will start changing and shifting.
And then again, let's clarify. These aren't tokens as in the Lumen token. These are tokens in
Mm.
terms of
In the
AI. Can you
code.
kind of explain that to people
Yeah, of
briefly?
course. To make it simple, 10 tokens is one line of code. So 1 billion tokens is 100 million lines of code, more or less. It's around that.
Cool. Thanks. Chill. I heard you take a deep breath there. I think maybe you were coming in.
Yeah, no, I had a question. So I saw that you guys actually started paying out developers already the other day. I think there was I believe it was like $10,000 in rewards. Can you walk us through number one, where are those rewards coming from? Is that like, are you guys generating revenue? Is that perhaps where it's coming from? And then of all of the um, f- um,
Mm.
developer activity you've seen on the platform already, is there anyone using that code that's been submitted to the platform?
Well, for now, first, where the money comes from. So on Heaven we had that fee system, which means we gain some revenue based on the trading fees, and that's the same the same thing with Pump. And since we've got a lot of volume recently, we were able to do a big payment on like yesterday, I think it was 10K, and yeah, it's 30% of 40% of the of the fees. I mean the generated revenue from fees, and 30% goes into buybacks, and the other 30 goes for the infrastructure, and yeah.
Okay, so I got two questions here. How do you take this mainstream? It would be my first one, right? You want to get this in the hands of college kids, people coding who maybe could do this as a full-time side gig as to replace their personal income. How do you go mainstream with this? Because I think that is an enticing concept.
What do you mean by that? Like who I am aiming for by this?
So not so much who you're aiming for, but how do you take this
Mass
platform?
adoption.
Yeah, how do you yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. How do you gain mass adoption with this?
Well, first, since I launched on crypto, I already get some coders. That's a bit random, but that's just easy to find. And then just people talking between each other and pushing the project. And if I want to expand Lumen overall, I can just start making, start working on the marketing side. And I'm pretty sure since Lumen pays quite a lot, it would be very easy to stack a lot of users. So yeah, mostly developers for now. And with this stream, basically the objective is to show anyone, it can be even coders if they're interested to be in the waitlist, or any trader if they see potential in the project. Since I think it's very early, uh, I think Lumen's potential can be pushed quite a lot. So yeah.
Got you. Okay, and then why Pump Fund? You left Heaven. Did Pump Fund throw a bag at you? They gave you some money. Is it like, do you think it's a great platform for ICM? What's the reasoning behind joining Pump Fund here rather than migrating somewhere else, just like a Meteor pool or who knows?
Well, initially I wanted to go potentially on Base or BNB, but I decided to go on Pump because I saw just I couldn't see Lumen pushing in the future if it was not on an active platform. And the thing is, Pump has always been that rank one platform. It won't lose hype. It won't lose its user base. You see, you hear Pump Fun, it's always the number one. So that's our choice directly.
Okay.
Interesting.
How are those fees? Are can you maybe explain the fee sharing platform or system they have set up? I'm not maybe fully familiar.
Well, so far, you mean like the wait, which fees exactly?
Trading fees,
Oh yeah.
transaction fees. Yeah, are you guys getting like 2%? I know Believe has a 2% in, 2% out fee, right? So every buy and sell is taxed an additional 2%, and a lot of that goes back to the creator. How does that work for Pump Fun?
I don't know the exact percent, but I have so far $50,000 were made, and a lot was both back in the chart. A big part was also used for the payouts, and yeah, it will just keep going that way.
So I do have a quick question because I think the demand from developers paying people on this platform is really critically important. I mean, you can tell me if that's true or not. Like trading fees can get you so far, but at some point the business of this kind of needs to work. Have you had developers come in naturally and put money onto the platform, or is that still like a core focus? Just trying to like close that success story case study kind of thing.
Well, for developers, on the first beta phase, we didn't have that much developers, only probably 5 or 6 maximum. But since we went like from 100 users to 300, and from that I've seen a lot of people just talk between each other, and it's like the word spread. So people were talking about Lumen, developers to developers, saying like, hey, you can gain money through that. And I think from that we've gained a lot of users, not mostly of from the Web3 community, but mostly internally.
Right. Okay. I mean, keep working on trying to get people to pay for this. Like there's countless stories of developers like subcontracting out their work when they're supposed to be coding it themselves. And like subcontracting is a widely known thing. I think that's what this platform is used for. But yeah, if you can make, that's like what Fiverr is, right? If you can make that work, it's a potentially a big business, but definitely got to keep cracking on that.
Yeah.
But this is a cool product. Very, very good. Like, look, this looks amazing. I think you've got one half, you got the supply side figured out really well. It's just dialing in on the demand side. If you can figure that out, I think you got a home run here.
Yeah. Thank you.
So maybe give us an idea of the roadmap. What's your kind of next steps? What you're excited for, and what's coming up?
Well, recently I've been deving mostly just to make sure everything goes well, especially through the migration, which was a bit hard to manage, but now it's done. And now thanks to that migration, I was able to make quite a lot of contacts. And wait, I won't reveal who it is, but there will be big partners soon. It should be announced at some point, but I have no date for now. It will be mostly on how Lumen stores the data, so it will definitely help.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's so important about that partnership? So storing data, like what? Give us a little bit more information on that.
Well, as you know, I mean, no, you probably don't know, but the data is stored on my own VPS, virtual private server, and the idea is to scale that more and push that data into, for example, I will say other names, but that's different. For AWS, Google Cloud Storage, things like that. And that's just where you store data. And from that, the good thing is I'm making connections in that data domain. And maybe even before the roadmap, Lumen could get potential potential buyers. So it would be very nice.
Got it.
Can you walk us through the token a little bit? Maybe why you need a token, how it's used in the ecosystem, and the benefits to having one.
Well, I think the biggest benefit of just having a token, I mean, for most tech projects, it's just to fund the company itself, just be able to provide to users what they need. Here, I promised payments to any contributor. It was done thanks to the token. I think if I've never done that launch, we would not be able to pay users until we gather even more data. You see, if you don't pay, you don't get data, and that's the opposite goes through. I can't get a user base if I don't prove to my users I can't pay them, and thanks to the token, it's a thing.
Nice.
Would you say that's inherently deflationary since your token is a payment model? How do you plan to keep it from, or would you say that's inherently inflationary? Excuse me. How do you plan on keeping the token model, either flat or deflationary?
Well, it's not that hard. On our first data cell, what will happen is just a big 20% buyback, and the idea would be to put 20% of Lumen's revenue on the long term on the token.
Okay, there we go. I guess simple as.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts, Chill, Josh. Anything you guys got? I think that really covers my angle.
There was someone that said this is the next CLED or something like that. I don't know if you have a comment to that. Like, do you see yourself as a similar business to CLED or not? Something different.
Well, I think yes and no. The thing with CLED is first they don't especially focus on code, which is a complete different domain. And the thing with code is you can't just accept it and sell it like that. You have like different levels of code. As I said, it goes through the evaluation engine. It has to be graded. Without that, it don't have value. And also, code you find online usually doesn't have value since it has already been scraped, and it's quite easy to do that. And yeah.
Yeah, I think, once you start comparing one product to another product, you kind of lose the plot. Where it's like nothing will ever be. It's like everyone's like, oh, this is the next Solana. Well, nothing will ever be the next Solana. So yeah,
That's fair.
making
That's a
making your
good
own.
clarification, Dom.
Yeah, making your own way is always the right thing to do. So I like
Yeah.
that you're not gonna kind of ride off the coattails of Kled. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. But no, I think we got a really good view of what you're building at Lumen, how you differentiate yourself, and I think I was a little bit unclear as far as the timeline. They also made the CLED comparison. I think it's just more of a quick blurb to help people understand. But I'm glad that we had this interview, so we kind of got a little bit of a deeper look into what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how everything works. So, Ferris, we appreciate you coming on the stream here today, and we know you're building out a lot. So as you pursue the roadmap, as you come out with other updates, we'd be happy to have you back on the show, and you can always share more with the community.